Do you get stuck in the comparison trap on your self-development journey, constantly looking around, thinking that everyone else has got their life together, every single person has got it perfectly, no one else struggles, and there's something wrong with you? Well, today I want to deep dive the truth about self-development and help you realize that this is not the case at all. But before getting today's episode, if you take any value, please don't forget to like and share with a friend. Help us get this information out there to as many people as possible. Also, if you're on YouTube, think about subscribing and hitting that bell so you don't miss any future episodes. If you're on Spotify and Apple Podcast, don't forget to give us a follow as well. So today, for me, I wanted to deep dive this subject because I had a conversation with one of my clients. And we're talking about motivation and discipline and stuff like that. And it made me realize that I think a lot of people, especially my clients, think that I'm somehow this perfect person that's always motivated all the time, always disciplined all the time, doesn't have a bad day, and just everything's amazing and dandy. And that doesn't go for me. You probably see a lot of people on your social media, your Instagram, all these other people that you follow, and you think the same thing. You're looking around. It could even be friends and family members, and you're like, wow, they always have good days. And this isn't what personal development and self-development is all about. It's not about this at all. And for me, this is what I want to deep dive this, because although we're on a journey of personal excellence, like this personal development thing, like we're trying to get better, as good as we possibly can, that personal excellence, that doesn't mean that we have to be a perfect human being. Now, I did a whole episode on difference between motivation and discipline, so you can check that in the description. If you're on YouTube, just click on the little button here and I'll link it in there, because this is a different topic to what I want to talk about. I want to talk about today about this whole thing about like people thinking that we're a perfect human being. Like, I am not perfect. Like, I struggle most days. I struggle most days in different areas. For example, doing this podcast, this should have been done 2 days ago. It's taken me 2 days to get this sorted. Now, it's going to go out on a Thursday. It always goes out on a Thursday. I never, ever miss it. However, I'm not always in the right headspace to do the podcast. I want to make sure I'm adding as much value as I possibly can to you guys, and that means I've got to show up. So if I'm not feeling it, I'm not just going to rock up on here and do it for the sake of doing it. But then what then that can then lead to is it actually then causes things to get a bit chaotic. When it comes to motivation to, I guess sometimes get out of bed in the morning, I think people just sometimes assume I should jump out of bed and I'm just constantly buzzing because, oh yeah, well, this is what Dan does. Yeah, this is what I do, but I still struggle. When it comes to reading a book, again, it's next to me, it's there. Every single day I will read. The problem is I don't do it when I should do it. Like, sometimes I put it off. And this is what people don't see. Yes, I always get my stuff done. Yes, most of the time, 90% of the time. And if I don't, we're going to talk about it in a second, what I then do. I've still got that voice in my head, that niggling voice in my head that tells me that I'm not good enough. Imposter syndrome. All these things, it's still there. The difference is that I'm so much more in control of it. That's the difference. But I'm not perfect. I'm not immune to these things. And that goes for any single person that you follow, even if it's a celebrity. They still struggle with these same things. The difference is that they're a lot more aware of it, and then they're in control of their actions moving forward. That's the difference. They don't let that little voice cripple them. They don't let that voice of doubt cripple them. If they don't have a perfect day, they don't just throw in the towel. Whereas that's where a lot of people struggle. Things aren't perfect, so they just throw in the towel. Like, I've literally messed up my entire life on multiple occasions and had to start from scratch. I've lost absolutely everything, but this is life. This is life. Understand that when you are messing up, when things don't go your way, when you have a bad day, when you're not feeling motivated, and you do throw in the towel, that's absolutely fine. What's not fine is sitting there moaning about it, and then that one bad day become 2, become 3, become 4, become 5, become a month, become a year. That's the problem. That's what I want to talk about today. Because in life, there's only 2 ways that you can learn. You can learn from other people's mistakes, or you can learn from your mistakes. And learning from your mistakes is a lot easier because you don't know what goes into other people's mistakes. So when things don't go to plan, when you don't do what you say you're going to do, when you are struggling to get things done, whatever it may be, can you reflect? Can you start to ask yourself the questions on why did this happen? What could I do differently to help me? For example, when it comes to me getting out of bed in the morning, I allow myself, my alarm goes off, I allow myself to snooze twice. I allow myself to snooze twice and then I get out of bed. And I've got something that I say, I'm not going to say on my podcast because it involves swearing, that I say to get myself out of bed. When it comes to going in the ice bath every morning, there's not a single day that I want to go in the ice bath, especially with how cold it is right now, not a single day. But then I set my timer, I go 3, 2, 1, and on 1, bam, straight in. I don't negotiate with myself. I've got ways of dealing with stuff when it comes to my reading, when it comes to the podcast, all this stuff. I've got ways of dealing with it because I've become aware of myself. No one can convince you of the things that you need to do and putting them off and all other stuff better than you. You know exactly what to say to yourself to put things off. to justify it to yourself. This is where self-awareness comes in. And this is where you've got to ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to become? And if you don't know the person you want to become, that's where the problem is. Because you've got to have some sort of filter that tells you, yes, this is helping me move in the right direction, or no, this isn't. I know exactly where I'm going in my life. I've got a 5-year plan, I've got a 10-year plan, I know exactly where I'm going. Am I going to get there? I hope so. There's that old saying, shoot for the moon, fall back on the stars. I'm going for a crazy goal. If I don't make it, okay, well, I'll be a lot further along than if I just sat here, just poodling along. Where do you want to be? Where do you want your life to go? When you're faced with a choice of lying in bed, of not doing your reading, of not doing the podcasting, whatever it is that you are doing in your life that you know you need to do to move your life forward, ask yourself, is this helping me become that person? And then if it doesn't go the right way, and when you do have a bad day, which we all do, ask yourself, interesting, what can I learn from this? And that's how we move forward. The thing is, with making mistakes, there's no problem with making mistakes. There's no problem with having a bad day. The problem is that when we make these mistakes and that if you're not happy with them, that's normal. That's life. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you're a failure. And I mentioned this on my Instagram story the other day. There's a difference between failing at something and being a failure. Very key distinction. But if you become aware that you aren't doing the stuff that you know you need to do to move your life forward. So if you become aware of it, you know you're not doing it, and then you choose not to do anything about it, that is the problem. Because right now you may not be aware of it, and that's okay. The whole part of this podcast and maybe other stuff you're doing on your journey, that's the awareness. Becoming aware of the fact of, because this is where I think a lot of people struggle. They know they should be doing certain things with their life. They know they should be taking different actions. And they're not being congruent, meaning the person that they want to be and the person that they are being, they don't line up, and that is the problem. You're being two completely different people, and that's where the conflict arises, and that's why so many people are struggling, because they know they should be doing better. We all know we should be doing it. The problem is that we don't do it, and the reason why we don't do it is because we don't have that awareness. We don't have the ability to stop negotiating with ourselves. We don't have that ability to take control. You are in control. You just may not be aware of it. You are in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts are not in control of you. And again, we want our body to do something. Understand the mind leads the body. The body then gets us the results that we want. Mind, physical reality. Be, do, have. Who do you want to be? Do the stuff and you'll have the results that you want to have. Because life's not about perfection. It's about learning and moving forward. And these mistakes that you're making every day, they qualify you. The reason why I can come on here and give such value every Thursday, or when I'm talking to my podcast guests, the reason why I can add such value, the reason why I get such good results from my clients, the reason why I can understand what they're going through, is because that's what qualifies me. The fact that I've been through the same mistakes, and every single day I'm navigating the same challenges. Every single day, just navigating these challenges, I'm just a lot better at it than most people, because I've gone through every hurdle. Not quite every hurdle, but most hurdles. I've made all the mistakes, and I've learned from them. And this is why every single week I come on here, and I probably say it once a week, pain plus reflection equals progress. It's the reflection that people miss. Reflection is the key thing that's changed my entire life. Because when you reflect, you become aware of your patterns, you become aware of your habits, you become aware of the toxic stuff that you say to yourself to keep yourself trapped. When you become aware of it, you, that best version of you that wants better for yourself, you can then do something about it. And that is what I want for you. I want you to move your life forward in the direction that you want to move it to. I'm not here to tell you where your life should be. That's none of my business. I'm just here to tell you that you can achieve it. And the only thing that's stopping you right now is the thing that's going on inside your head. When you make one little mistake, you beat yourself up. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has bad days. No one is motivated all the time. Learn from your mistakes. Nobody is perfect. You're either learning from other people's mistakes or your mistakes. If you're not happy, ask yourself, are you doing the stuff that you know you need to do to move your life forward? And if the answer is no, ask yourself, why not? And what can you do today to get the ball rolling again? Until next time, take it easy.